Soundiron, invented in the year 12 by John Soundiron. How's it going, everybody? My name is Drewsif, and we are here today to check out a new bass library from my pals over at Soundiron. Now, this is a paid video. They are not telling me how to feel or what to think. All right, nobody can get in here. But as always, my opinions are my opinions, and I'm not gonna say something nice just because I'm making money. So Soundiron has just released their sibling library to A Machina, which is a Kiesel 7-string guitar. This is a Kiesel 5-string bass. That's 2 less strings, but lower. Bass Machina comes with a number of articulations, as one would expect from a stringed contact instrument, and has an entire effects rack of different amps and compressors and distortions and what have you. I'm gonna do a little bit of guitar playing for you, and then we're gonna jump into the computer behind me, and then we will be back here to wrap up. Here we are with Bass Machina. So down in this bottom left little corner, we've got pick direction with alt, slap, and pop. You've got play mode with normal, repeat, and strum. You've got an auto hammer-on, which I think is very cool. So all you have to do is just draw a note longer than the next note, as if you're playing legato, and then it will automatically use the hammer-on samples as opposed to another pick. So it's just a nice little way to get a little bit more realism and with less work than having to tell it to do the hammer-on every time. So without, with, nice, easy little maneuver right there. I really appreciate that. After that, we have our pitch bend range, which goes up to 2 steps. We got some at the beginning here. And if we get rid of it, sounds great. Right here is where you can set your slide key switch. So you tell it the note that you'd like it to be. Right now it's set to C0. And where do we have a slide? I think we've got one around here. Oh, it's a tap slide. Look at me go, dude. So we start out with a tap, and then in the middle of that note happening, we hit our slide key switch and then drop a note here to tell it where to slide to. So we're going boom. Is this... boom. So yeah, we'll check that out. Which is pretty freaking cool. And that's actually a really good segue into the force string options. So you can tell it which string you want it to be playing on. It's the bottom 5 keys on the piano roll. So your lowest, obviously, would be your lowest string, and then on and on and on. Especially for a situation like this, we're telling it that we want to tap and slide specifically on the A string, but we could change it. And obviously there isn't any room to slide if we move it up to the D string, but we could throw it on the E string, or we could put it on the B string. Very cool. We're going to have a whole lot more use of the string force feature a little bit later on. So up at the top here, we've got a bunch of little knobs, and you can, I believe, control sort of the bass amount that's going into your FX, which we will also get to later. And then you have your standard attack and offset, volume, release, and release volume. But to be honest with you, I didn't really touch it at all. I just kind of left it alone. Speaking of things I also didn't touch, there is a sequencer here. Set up all kinds of fun little things. So you just hit a note and it goes, okay. We got this. It's slap, pop, mute, slap, slap, mute, slap, slap, mute, pop, mute. So what do we get from that? Oh! And you can change your sequencer direction to all kinds of stuff. So that is pretty powerful, but I am too much of a control freak to let anything do sequencing for me. And speaking of being a control freak, let's check out our articulations. So here you can see the list of non-standard sounds that you can tell bass Machina to play. So here's a good example. If we just delete all of these articulations in this opening, you can really hear what we're doing here. So here's without. Oh, right. Whoops. So here's without. Got to set it back to pluck. And here is with. So we're telling it to do some slaps and pops there. So we're going ba-dum, ba-dum. And then there's a little fret mute. So that would be your left hand slapping against the frets, or right hand. If you're a lefty, we're inclusive here. What we're doing here is kind of emulating a double thump sort of a situation, which I realize I could have actually probably used the slap mute, which might have done a more realistic job. Let's see. Yeah. Actually, I think I remember making that decision specifically because I wanted the notes to come through a little bit more than they would if it was like fully muted. We're starting with the left hand mute, and then we're doing a double thump and then a pop. So it's ba-da-da-da, ba-da-ba-da. And then here we get some nice little bass noises. Left hand mute into a muted pop. So kick. I'm just throwing the whole thing at the wall here. So we're doing auto hammer-on, we're doing slaps and pops, and we're also forcing the string. So we can check out what it's doing here. And I'll even slow it down, actually, so you can really. Starts out with a pop, and then from there, hammer on, hammer off. Hammer off, bro? Are you serious? That's pretty freaking cool, man. Nice and humble there. And so now I guess we'll just kind of keep going straight through this track. Here we have a great demonstration of the low notes. So this goes down to an F0. Typically, my rule is I will never go below A flat on a bass, maybe G sometimes if I'm feeling a little frisky, but I wanted to show off what this could do. So typically, at this point here, I would be flipping it up an octave higher. But you can hear those super low notes. That's just a personal taste thing there. And we also have a little left-hand mute in there. So this is a fun little bit. As we had earlier, there's that little tap slide thing. And this part is nice and fun. We're doing a pop into a slap that then hammers on, and then we repeat that a couple times. And if we slow it down, that is sick. And now we got a friggin' bass solo, dude. Because how am I not going to put a friggin' bass solo into this? It's a bass instrument, man. What are you thinking? Okay, we're starting out here a little slide up to our high note. Giving it even harder work, we're making it play a chord. So we're forcing strings where this is our first note on our A string and then D string and then G string. So we get this nice little slide and then into a chord. We go into some nice little hammer-on business. And then we go back into another held-out chord thing, which we're now doing a minor second apart. So it's pretty much the ugliest thing that you could do, because why wouldn't you do that? How could you not do that? Okay, so one other thing. We also have an effects rack here. So you can fully empty it. Let's go back to a little bit more of a rockin' part, dude. And that gives you a nice little DI tone, or we have a bunch of little presets here. So a little bit of this. Just big sub bass action, DI mixed. Dirty rock. Love that clank, dude. That's beautiful. Dreamy delay. Let's go over to our little solo section. That's not quite what I expected it to be. Endless time. All right. You could do like a cool pad with that, something like that. Far out. Dang. That's actually really cool. Grunge. Moving on, we have metal. Overdriver. I think you get the point, but I do want to hear what Space Odyssey sounds like. All right. You can also save and load your own presets. So I have Mess Hugger. If if you get the joke, it's Meshuggah. And that's our effects rack. So if you have a preset that you like and you want to send it to your bassist or your friend or your mom, you can do that. Welcome back. I think Soundiron did a lovely job with this bass instrument, especially at the price they're asking. It is quite competitive versus some of the other bass instruments out there on the market. And you still get a lot of those wonderful articulations, like the slaps and the pops and the slides and the fret mutes and the etc., etc. And plus there's that cool sequencer, which I've not seen on any other stringed instrument sample library. I'm quite a fan of Soundiron. I've been using a number of their contact libraries for more than a decade now. All over the dang place. I love me some Soundiron. If you're looking to pick up Bass Machina, you can do so right down below. I have an affiliate link and it helps me out if you click it. Otherwise, I hope you'll have a wonderful day. I've been Drewsif, and I still will be. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like, comment, subscribe. I have a Patreon. If you want to become a Patreon, you can get songs, stems, tabs, and stuff like that. You can also do that through YouTube membership. Otherwise, that's cool too. Have a great day. Click on this video. Or this one. Click subscribe up here, dude. I'm hypnotizing you into subscribuling. Press the subscribe. You must.